for virtual assistants that are seeking to impress and excel in their roles, what tips or best practices can you share to them to make them valuable assets to entrepreneurs like yourselves?
Be proactive. I'm probably hiring you so that you can make my life a little bit easier. So by being proactive, that's definitely going to impress me. Don't wait for me to ask you to do something, or if you see a way that something could be improved, don't hold back. Bring that information to me. If you see that we're using XYZ system and there's another
Mm,
one that's comparative but cheaper or works faster, or there's
mm,
some way you can do something better, bring that to the table. Also, the little things around communication I find very important are finding out how is the best way to communicate. So, do does your employer prefer to receive emails? Do they want to receive text messages? Things like that make a big difference. I know
mm,
for me personally, I've got Slack, I've got Zoom going off, I've got 5 different email accounts. It becomes very difficult for me to remember where I'm going to find information. So if you can clarify that for me and make sure we're all on the same page, that makes again my life a little bit easier.
mhm.
Um, and yeah, like Travis said, just always communicate and communicate early. No one wants to be left in the lurch. Everyone's busy,
Mm.
and be upfront and honest about if you can't do something or if you can't do it by a specific time, because then I can make alternative arrangements. If you leave it to the last minute, it's not going to be good.
Mm. Love it. How about you, Trav? Tips and best practices.
Communication. So I keep harping on about communication, but it comes up a lot with virtual assistants.
Yeah.
So standing out in that, and it's real simple. Like you just got to learn some techniques.
Mm.
Uh, Critical thinking. I think this is a really important thing that I always look for, and how I look for it is I ask what critical. Actually, let me define critical thinking means the ability to have rationale or think through why you're doing something, and why is it important, how are you going to do it, something, coming to your logic on how you have come to a decision. The decision is the
Mm.
conclusion at the end. How did you get to that decision? Did you pluck it out of the air and magically just formulate it, or actually you thought about it and you asked other people and you tested your rationale and you did some
Mm.
research and found other people did it this way, therefore that's why you're drawing the conclusion? That's a stronger thing, I look for people like that because they're going to be able to be really good problem solvers. So that's what that indicates, critical thinking. Another important trait would be self-learning. We talked about this. A virtual
Yep.
assistant that's been with me the longest, one of her core skills is self-learning. So I just keep giving her more and more different tasks and varied tasks, and she's got really proficient at self-learning. She can pick things up and then implement. So self-learning is important. Self-learning to solve problems. Let me just add that last bit: to solve problems, not just learning for the willy-nilly, but like to focus on how do I
Yeah.
solve this problem that the entrepreneur wants. And then the big thing that's just coming, and we have huge opportunities for virtual assistants, and it's begun now. If you look at sites like Upwork, it's one of the most fastest growing areas for skills, and that is AI skills, artificial intelligence skills. How do you use Chat GPT? How do you write advanced prompts? Not just basic prompts, but
Hmm.
there are different levels to prompting, for example, and we teach five different levels of prompting. For example, one thing is prompt chaining. Prompt chaining is just a fancy way of saying you break down the task that you want into different sections, and you ask the first prompt, and you get the answer from the first prompt, and then you use it in the second prompt. So the answer said, off the first prompt, it said this, and then when you're writing the second prompt, you're including that answer in, and then you so forth. You keep hopping through. That
Mm.
makes the answer way more powerful. So skills like that, learning those sort of things, will help you improve your productivity. The more productive that you are, the more jobs you're going to get, the more work you're going to get, the higher rate you're going to get. So those would be some key
Fantastic.
things that stand out for me.
Yep. Awesome. So, guys, if you want to excel in your roles, impress your employers, be proactive, maintain good communication, practice critical thinking, self learning, and of course, learn about AI.